Are you ready to find out what are the major tools that you need as a virtual assistant? In this video, I'm going to dive through the main tools that a lot of your clients are going to make sure that you know or you understand or that you are familiar with. And basically, what are the top tools that I recommend in each category? To start off is you need a really good communication tool. Now, these can be separated out into 3 different categories in itself. One is just a instant messaging tool with your client. This could be WhatsApp, this could be Slack, this could be whichever one that they're familiar with or that you might guide them into. And 2 is an email tool. So what tool are they using for their emails that you can be using for your emails and basically creating a system around that. And the 3rd one is a calendar tool. Yes, you can use a calendar in communicating with your clients and then your clients' clients or whoever they're supposed to meet with. Now, a communication tool, I put this right front and center because it's one of the most important tools that you will need when it comes to working with your client. And the biggest reason is, of course, that you can't really move or do anything if you don't have an established way to go back and forth with your client, as well as managing your client's communication, which is the email and the calendar. For you as their virtual assistant, you're kind of their filter for a lot of the different things that come into their attention. So learning and being familiar with a lot of these communication tools, how to use them, how to utilize them, creating a system on how to basically make sure that you're using them right with your client is going to be a key thing. You could have been working with a client for like 2-3 years using their Gmail account, and when you find another client, when you're starting with another client, they might have a new system or a preferred way in doing it. So you need to have or create a process of how to onboard someone and understand what their own communication preferences are. So then as you're managing a lot of their tools, a lot of their communications, you're able to do it depending on how they prefer it to be and what's most beneficial basically that they would use as well. Next, and this is a key thing, is a project management tool. Now, this doesn't have to necessarily be a project management for the whole company. It can just be your project management tool of how are you keeping track on what are your outcomes? How are you keeping track of your tasks? How are you keeping track when you are delegated a task from your client and making sure that you get it to the finish line? What does that look like for you and your client? So what this basically means for you as you're figuring out, as you're trying to see what kind of tool you can use, it's finding tools like Notion, Trello, ClickUp. There's a lot of different ones, but it's getting comfortable with knowing how to set up when you're given a bigger task or how to just capture your small tasks throughout the week, day, monthly, basically tracking what are the things that need to get done recurringly and how you want to set up your day. Next are data management tools. This is your password manager and your file manager. Now, yes, you really need to have a really good tool when it comes to the password sharing. One of the things that you have to really keep in mind when you are a virtual assistant is that you will get access to things that is directly, basically will directly affect your client and their business. So if you're not careful about making sure that their passwords are safe, you might be putting them in danger. So making sure that you have a really good tool like Bitwarden or OnePass where you are able to store their passwords into one place or they're able to share passwords with you securely, that it's not just on a notepad, it's not just on a Google Sheet, it's basically on something that easily is secure or needs an additional password to be able to get into is going to be one of the key things that will kind of help you manage your client's data and make sure that you don't lose anything. On the file manager side, this could be Google Drive, this could be OneDrive, this could be anything that they use. But for you as the virtual assistant, you need to be someone who knows how to create a really good filing system so that you are able to put things in storage in the right way. It's going to be easy for you and the client to be able to find different files within their Google Drive, OneDrive, whatever it is that they're using. You're creating a system where it doesn't have to be stuck on you to find these files. It's going to be easy because you've created a really good filing system to put things into one folder. As a really good example, within my virtual assistant agency 2XU, our filing system is essentially things like content, clients, and then within the clients folder is every single client that we have. And within that folder are like their contracts, any quick links that needs to be in there, as well as we have a whole Notion page that has all of their stuff. So anytime that we need quick access to things, there's a good data management system that we have where it's easy for us to find out more about that client, their asset, their templates, everything else. It's all in one place. So data management also isn't just files, it's also managing the data within the company of where is this link, where's the logo, where's the brand kit, where's this and that within the business. There's kind of an easy place for you to be able to access them and find them, which again also comes into the file management side, but it's basically a quick and easy way for the rest of the team to be able to access that data when they need to. Next is of course your AI tools. Now I wouldn't be an AI consultant without mentioning AI into this, but essentially you need to have a really good system or a really good tool that you use consistently enough that trains you basically on how to use AI better and better. Of course, I default into ChatGPT just because it is there. It's one of the easier tools to kind of get familiar with. There's tools like Claude, there's automation tools like Make.com or even using Zapier. But the point of this is, as a virtual assistant, you need to be someone who is taking a little bit of proactiveness and a little bit of looking forward. So learning how to use these AI tools is going to be one of the things that will give you the edge to be able to impress your client and also to work better. So picking and choosing which tools you're comfortable with and showing that off to your client that, like, hey, this is how I can use X, Y, and Z. This is how I can make sure that your data is secure and not trained into the AI, and getting it to the point where not just yourself, but your client is also comfortable with using AI to kind of maximize and again multiply what it is that you do working with your client. Next, and depending on your client, is you might need a few content tools. So for us, we use Canva a lot. We also use ChatGPT for creating content. And what that means is knowing what kind of style your client likes and what they aspire to be, and knowing what kind of content they follow. So then when you're creating content for them, when you're creating any asset for them, you kind of have a really good reference point on what works for them and what are the things that you can help them develop better. Again, especially if you do have content on your task list. Now, if you don't, then you could probably skip this part and go right into developing your own personal processes when it comes to working with your client. What that means and what that looks like is developing kind of your own recipe book of your standard procedures of how you do certain things. So it's easy for you to replicate it on a really sick day or when you don't want to or you don't remember your own process. So a really good example of this is documenting how you do the email systems for your client, of like, how do you check their email? How do you know where, what to put what label or how to respond to certain things? It's documenting how you're able to do your day-to-day tasks and outlining what they look like. So then again, it's easy for you to do it when you don't want to, when you're kind of tired and kind of maybe stressed. Or it also makes it easier for you to train the next person who might be taking over those tasks or even taking over your position. So creating your own process file, your process tool in this matter, makes it easy for you to keep moving forward and to keep having a record of how things are usually done and how to keep them essentially kind of creating repetitive results. Managing tools and using tools as a virtual assistant doesn't have to be this crazy, confusing thing. And I hope you guys got a lot of ideas of what these different tools are and how to be able to utilize them to the best of your abilities. Now, if you guys like this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up button right there. Comment below any tools, any questions that you have. I would love to know and answer them. And if you still haven't yet, make sure to hit the subscribe button right there so you don't miss any of my videos every Sunday and Thursday on how to work from home and how to have a business from home, which you guys can check out those two playlists right here and the latest video right here. I hope you guys have an amazing day and remember that small steps matters. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye!